Let's try this. I'm basically traveling, kind of an impromptu travel trip. And it got me thinking about another subject regarding filmmaking. And this particular film, I recently spoke about that I finished a 70-minute feature film. Basically, it's a feature film, it's a documentary, it's in various parts, which I haven't really gone into. Well, there is a video that might have been uploaded by now, which talks about the behind the scenes or behind the editing and the music and all this. That might already be on the channel. But I suddenly thought about deadlines and traveling, and the reason that this came to me was I've got a long stopover at the moment, or layover, waiting for my flight. And you get time to do stuff. Now, I'm not actually editing yet, I'm really tired. But I was thinking that last year, when I was kind of trying to achieve this and get this project moving more and get it finished, I needed a deadline. And often when I'm traveling, it could be, let's just say, on a bus or a coach or a plane, sometimes I'm really motivated to get to do something. It's like it's in motion. It's something about the movement that maybe makes me want to do something. Now, this all depends on, as I mentioned earlier, how tired I am or how awake I am. But sometimes it gets me going, It's like you haven't got anywhere else to go. You can't go anywhere else. You're trapped in a vehicle of some kind or transportation of some kind. And so you almost, what else are you going to do? Apart from, if you're on a plane, an aeroplane, maybe you would watch a film, maybe you would music, or maybe do something else. But video editing is something that you can do. And it got me thinking, it has happened to me in the past, but it also got me thinking, as I say, about last year. And when this documentary, I was at a certain film festival in Korea, and I'm going to go into this in more detail in another video. I was in a certain film festival, and it kind of sparked a lot up here and how I could shape this documentary that I've been wanting to I've been looking for a kind of angle for ages, and I knew I could do something. I knew I could tell this story of this ferry disaster that happened in 2014, where 250 children, more than 250 children, and in total more than 300 individuals, including teachers, lost their lives to the sea due to many reasons. I'm not going to go into those right now, but it kind of gave me some structure. Some other films I'd seen and some other anniversary of that event gave me some structure. That then gave me kind of a deadline. And there was a film festival that I was involved with in Seoul in October. There was a chance that I was going to be able to maybe show some film project related to that, or one of my film projects which would be related to the ferry, potentially playing it there. Now, it wouldn't be in competition because I was a judge at that film festival, so clearly, if you're a judge, you can't really have your film in competition. And I thought, well, maybe we're going to screen it as part of I'm the special guest from the UK with a film that can be shown in a sort of separate screening. So that got me focused on editing, and I really started putting it together and everything. And then, when it sort of turned out that wasn't going to be able to be screened at that festival, I was still tweaking, I think, I still make changes, but then I didn't have the deadline because they didn't really need it at the festival, and I wasn't given the chance, and that's fine. But it meant that, and this did affect me a bit when I was in Korea for a month, and I was in the same place for 4 weeks, and I did a bit of work on it, but I kept, at one point, I think when it was established that no, that wasn't going to be the case, it wouldn't be used at the film festival, I did slow down. I did think, I haven't got the deadline now. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that when you get a deadline and you get a necessary, factor, something to make you finished, then it is really good. It's actually really painful in many ways because you've just got to work at it. And this kind of, even though this slowed me down when I found out that there wouldn't be a screening of it, which, as I say, I don't hold that against anybody, and it was just, it was only talk, it was only chatter about what might happen anyway. But then I realised there's a certain film festival that I really wanted to get this submitted to. Whether it gets selected, I didn't know, so I went back at it again, and you know, the end of December, 1st of January was my deadline for getting this completed. So it's great if you give yourself these deadlines. Even if there's a festival you can't meet that deadline, try for the next film festival. And yeah, so I've so far submitted this film to 3 film festivals, and there will be more. But each of those has given me separate deadlines to improve it a bit. You will also perhaps know, if you're a filmmaker or if you're interested in filmmaking, you might already know that you can upload something to Film Freeway. If you're lucky, you can make changes to the uploaded film, whether it's on Vimeo or YouTube. You can make changes even after submission, because the film festival might actually not look at the film, because they're not going to, the deadline might be today. They're not going to look at the film for several days, several weeks sometimes. Sure, they might take a screenshot or some sort of download or some sort of, you know, capture, and then you can't make any changes because they've taken that latest version. But I guess what I'm saying is, it's always worth giving yourself a deadline. But I did, because I mean, actually, really, if I'd checked that, actually, if I'd realised that that film festival, the one I really wanted to get it submitted to, and I did, but not fully complete, almost complete, if I'd really checked the details of when that festival was, I would have cracked on with it more in September, October time, and really got on the case, you know. And I kind of, yeah, it's it doesn't, you know, it would have been a better product, but I would have been really up against it, and I've been up against it, you know, 3 times because of this improvement thing at 3 different festivals. And I'm only gonna, I might tweak more changes, but it does depend if festivals accept it or not, because then you've got to stop, you know, depending on what a film festival says, you've got to stop at some point making changes. It's got to be the final perfect version. So yeah, it kind of got me thinking, sitting here and thinking that, you know, you have all this time. I've still got a few hours before my flight here, and I can be cracking out. I'm so tired, but I'm doing other things which are important, or things that I've been meaning to do. You know, when you've got this much time, you can't go anywhere. You're not going to, if I'm in, I don't know, Korea or Chiang Mai, or even if in the UK, if I'm going from one cafe to the next, it's great, but I might not be as productive as I should be, because you kind of, oh, I'll do this, I'll go there, I'll do this. But when you're sitting here, frankly, it's a bit like being on a bus or a plane. You know, you've got no reason, you've got time-wise, or you can't do any, you can't go anywhere else, so you might as well crack on with something. So those kind of aspects came together, and I thought, let me just record this about it, because, you know, I have promised that I'm going to make more videos about the filmmaking process, this particular film, but also in general, because I really want to kind of, I do want to help people. I'm not, you know, the expert in the world of filmmaking, but I do want to share my the information I've learned over the last decade or so, making, you know, fiction, making documentaries, making video art, and you know, what you can do. And I'll be interested, you know, if people are out there and they want to tell me their experiences, then that's great as well, because I am interested in knowing what other people think, or what they might be experiencing even right now. I'm going to leave it at that. I might even record another episode very soon, so I'm going to leave it at that. And yeah, if you're making films or watching films or just interested in films, keep the passion, keep the spirit alive, keep cinema and art and all that, keep it real, and keep it, anything's possible. Okay. I'll see you later.